It's looking like Christmas already. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Monday edition of Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Byrne. As always, I have the ladies. Hello. Merry Christmas.
Morning.
The Christmas season is already here. I love the decor on our sets.
Table, yeah.
How you guys doing? How's your weekend?
Weekend was good and hectic. Saturday, okay, we had a staff party. So we came, that was my
Friday night,
on
right?
Friday night.
Yeah.
So we came, we had a bit of fun. It was just there. Then on Saturday, I had an event. I was speaking at an event, Thriving in Spite of Failure. And, you know, it was more like a program that would give people help, succor, when you're in need, you're depressed, you know. The vision is something I liked because a lot of people came together and we shared so much of our failures, and it was so touching to see someone looking all glam like you, narrating their experiences. I was like, whoa, so you went through this and you went through that, you know. So it's something I look forward to. Then yesterday I had an award event. I was the host of the event itself, and I was presented
You're a recipient.
Recipient as well, TV Personality of the Year.
Fantastic.
I just want to say thank you for this platform. If not for your View TVC, nobody will see me on TV. So I'm just grateful.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nima Akasha Zibiri.
Just enjoying the weekend experience.
Yes, we're living vicariously through her.
Yes. Okay, I missed out on all the parties. Happy birthday, Cordelia Ahmed. The suya and the kunu, man. I saw pictures from Sulai's post, and I knew I missed. I knew I really wanted to come, but driving at night is not working for me. With the way they go crazy on my end of town, you don't want to be caught in that traffic at night. I was caught there once at 10 o'clock, alone in my car, and all I had was my phone. So I don't want to relive it anytime. So I don't take evening events anymore. Fantastic. But happy birthday! I wish you many more fruitful years. And weekend was nice. Someone wants to give our audience rice.
Oh,
Yes. Are you sure it's not you?
It's no, certainly not.
Talking about rice, I don't have rice again.
buy rice.
I want to buy from you.
Rice
Rice has finished.
Rice merchant.
The
Rice was good.
This
Do you
fan
have-
base that brought thought it was nice, and he was willing to send rice across to our fans. I won't make
when
it
will
this
they get
Wednesday.
it?
I think I'll do it on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
awesome.
I need rice, ja. I need rice. I don't have any rice,
So
get
you wait
me.
until next week.
Get me.
I'm done. I'm out of rice.
You're out of rice.
They are supplying this week, so I'm getting rice on
Jesus
Wednesday.
Christ. You are really pridey.
I'm telling
Then
you.
we'll be married. So there's no rice. I have no rice.
No
like
rice.
done. Like no rice anymore. And I was hoping that I would
If you
tell
had
you.
said something, I'd have given you a small portion to keep.
Yeah, I have nothing.
But for sale, I don't have now.
Okay, oh, no worries.
I'm
We'll
out of
manage.
stock.
I
We'll
could
eat
come
our
to your
eba.
rescue if you talk
Yeah,
to
give
me
me like
nicely.
maybe 10 kg or something.
Yeah, I
I'll
can.
All right. How you doing, Jerry, my sister?
I'm fine. I mean, the weekend was almost the same with Obiajulu's and yours. We were at the staff party on Friday. On Saturday, we were at Kajari's birthday. I really loved it. It was northern themed, as Nima said. So there was
I had kunu for the first time.
She had kunu.
I never had northern food before,
Yeah.
so it was a really amazing experience for me.
You had masa and me and Taushe.
Yeah, whatever.
I had
yeah.
Nwawe. You know, it was so nice. The food was lovely. The company was fantastic. See, I've been in Lagos nearly 10 years, and it's hard to meet people of similar, from where I'm from, you know, together in a place.
Yeah.
So to see this, oh, I'm from Jos. Oh, I went to Uni Jos. Oh, I went to this. It was
refreshing.
so exciting. And I understand what I'm missing, you know, because I'm so away from where I grew up. I'm here in a new place. It was nice.
So I went there thinking that the servers would help me out. So I'm there speaking to them, saying, okay, so what's this? How do I eat this? And they're wondering, they're just looking at me like,
No,
Auntie,
just
get
help yourself.
So I didn't know what to take. So I had to go to her. So Auntie, please come and help me. I didn't know what to take. So she not they didn't understand. I wanted to sample. No, Nima, I actually wanted to sample.
No,
but they were
you told what you.
how do you
know,
combine it? I wanted, like, what do I...
Except his pork, I
They
don't
didn't
ask.
understand English. So I had to come to Mariam. Mariam now said, okay, like, she'll
Let's
take
go.
me there.
And
So
you're
I took a
speaking
little
the
I
language.
was just so happy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it tasted really good. And over the weekend, I had to be at an event. On Saturday, were we together? Saturday, that was a Kadara's event.
Yes.
And Sunday, there was an awards I had to go present. Her her network. It's women's. It was really, really fantastic. Yeah, so I went there to present an award, and Kiki Modi was Media Personality of the Year, which is great. So it was exciting. Yeah, it was really fantastic to be amongst women. Yeah.
Shout out to Sarah for her community forum winning from the NMA.
Yes, NMA.
I believe that, you know, her work on the communities, you know, something I'm passionate about. Is very detailed, and I think she's well-deserved. It's a well-deserved award for her.
Yeah, and TVC got nominated for almost all the categories, but you see, we're proud that we did a good job. TVC, I mean, nobody, it's not by a plaque or award. TVC knows they've done a great job this year, and we are proud of all the results that happened at the NMA. But we have to give a shout out to TVC's Deputy Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Victoria Ajayi. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, she's a chartered accountant and recently awarded the African Region Advocate of the Year 2019 ACCA Award. So we're so proud of her. That's her there at the awards event. Look at her looking so graceful. Yeah, there she is. So it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Victoria!
Birthday, and congratulations on your award.
So she's the one that pays our salary. So let us be like everyone. Happy birthday! On time. All right, let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start with The Nation very quickly. Budget 2020, lawmakers vote 37 billion for renovation. Police protest poor retirement pay. Oluwo and Canadian wife separate. Monarch issues disclaimer. Controversy over Ohane's leadership tenure. And Lagos to open bid for 4th mainland bridge. Okay, this matter. Okay, fire raises factories in Ibadan. Let's start with the fire.
Okay, so this happened in Ibadan. There's this hub of businesses. You know, they have a lot of young undergraduates who are in that area carrying out different businesses. We have production companies in that hub as well. But then a fire broke out in the middle of the night when power was restored, and an electric pole fell. And then the fire started. So it was one of the security guards who alerted people that the fire was on, and they tried to put out the fire, but a lot of properties, machines were destroyed and lost in that. A lot of them are lamenting. Most of them took loans to do that business. Yeah. I just hope
once fire raises in this country, it's almost as it's a total loss. Yeah. Let's talk about the police.
The police, yes. So they're protesting their poor retirement package. So they're on the contributory pension scheme. And what that means is that at the end of 35 years of service, the IG of police on a monthly basis will get about 100,000. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, 89. So it's quite low. And they're saying that they would like to exit that scheme, especially as the military and DSS have been allowed to do so as well. And they also partake in what the military does, as in they work when it comes to peacekeeping, and then the DSS part, which is supposed to be like the intelligence part, the police still performs that duty. So they do not feel that like they're recognized enough, you know, and they're asking that their retirement package to be better. Even they also complained about their stipends currently, you know, while you're working also. They were saying that, you know, the captain in military earns more than a commissioner of police, you know, so I think it's important that we look into their remuneration.
How do they get their pensions?
No, so they will join the scheme that the military has too, so it's more
We need to move on. Let's move on. The Punch. Crisis cripples scheme benefiting states lament. That's the school feeding project. Police arrest 4 cultists for murder in Lagos. Mob burns truck for crushing 6 to death. OAU loses 3rd lecturer in 10 days. ASU mourns. Lagos opens bid for 4th mainland bridge on Wednesday. Tinubu Atiku meets at Abuja airport, details unknown. Alake Olota exchange words over Ogunland. And Buhari may sign 2020 budget on Tuesday. All right, so let's see.
Human interest? Mob?
Yeah,
I'll just go with the major headline. I left all the small stories. So the school feeding projects already is hitting the rocks already. And out of the states that are benefiting presently, they are complaining. They have issues that the federal government have not been. In Enugu, for instance, they can't access certain areas within that state. So the school feeding is not going through. And in most of the schools, they are feeding just between primary 1 to 3. unlike what the VP promised us, the Vice President promised us at the time when they were flagging off this scheme. For Lagos, for instance, they've not even started at all. They say they're promising, they're hoping to start. Kwara, they've not started at all. Most of the states that are benefiting already are having issues already. Funds have not been paid to some of the cooks. You know, so
based on what I read, they're actually commending the quality of food being served. Their issue is the fact that it's not so over. Like we have like 1,000 schools, about 400 schools are not being reached. So some schools actually
some
do
of the
get it
criticism
within
that
the
they
states.
had when they wanted to flag this off was, you know, sustaining it and, you know, continuing the project.
Right.
Most of the people criticizing were thinking this was not going to work. It might have worked in Osun, which was the prototype state, but it might not be able to. They will not be able to replicate it across the federation. And it seems like it. I think they should just stick together.
Okay. All right. The human interest story. Who has that story?
So a mob attacked this truck driver in Ijebu, that's Ogun State. The story was that he was involved in an accident with a tricycle, and the victims were the tricycle driver and about 4 other passengers in the car. And so, of course, the mob gathered around, burned down the truck. And the story actually happens that it was the tricycle driver that was the guilty party. He overtook, you know how they do it, yes. And that was what caused the accident. Luckily, the truck driver was taken away from that place by the police officers, you know. There
was a picture that went out viral, the Tinubu and Atiku picture together. I think his media person, Tunde Rahman, has come out to say that Tinubu was on his way to Minna. And he saw Atiku at the airport, and the picture was taken. So suddenly, that picture went viral. People are thinking that are there underground strategies going to Minna? Okay. So they said the people were thinking that there are underground strategies.
So people cannot see each other and greet each other again.
So no, they should not be greeting.
No,
people are killing themselves in the States, for instance. You people should not be greeting. Let us know if you are fighting.
Let us know if fight.
Fight if you are fighting. Let it be worth it.
And they just greeted. Okay, let's move on to Daily Sun.
Greeting what?
Rumble in Senate over 50 billion naira constituency projects fund. Southeast pensioners bemoan neglect. How to rescue Leah Sheribu, others in Boko Haram captivity, says abducted lecturer. IBB dispels death rumor, meets David Mark in Minna. And Auditor General uncovers concealment in MDAs. Okay, let's start with the Senate issue, and I'll connect that with the 37 billion naira that was allocated for...
The ICPC, again, is, you know, still investigating a constituency project and, you know, checking how our senators are duplicating and repeating.
No, they are padding. Padding.
No,
that's the easy word.
Projects that have already been done, they are repeating it within constituencies and, you know, presenting it again like it's fresh. But because, you know, they're not traceable exactly. These funds are not questioned. So they just assume that it was is a new project, whereas the old projects, and of course they will liaise with the agency involved and get the monies for it. So that's what ICPC is saying. But we know that they've responded before saying that these monies don't come to them directly. So that the constituency project, they are simply just mentioning the projects that they want done and that the government
Okay, so the rumble, according to the papers, however, is within the Senate. And they were saying that outside the 100 billion naira that's been allocated for constituency projects, there's an additional 50 billion, which 15 of these senators, they got the lion's share of this extra allocation. So they're wondering, like about 90 senators were totally sidelined and they're not getting out of this money. So they're wondering on what base, what criteria did you use to allocate this 50 billion naira extra to yourself? That's one angle. And the 37 billion naira they want to use to renovate.
So part of the budget that has been approved, 7 billion has been approved for the National Assembly renovations. Wow. This is an assembly that was built with 7 billion naira in 1999. And every year is renovated. Every assembly is renovated. Well, you know, because they don't understand our saving money idea, so they have approved. So
that's part of our capital expenditure.
And then good news, they were collecting $1 billion for an amendment of the project of the Constitution in 2020. So hopefully we'll have an amended Constitution that allows, probably, most likely, I'm looking to them amending that area of mineral resources. And, you know, granting states the power.
So, you know what, we are all kind of tired of talking about these budgets because nothing's going to happen. So they'll get the extra 50 billion naira. 37 billion will go to the renovation and life goes on.
Pension, about the pension? Yes, the pension in the Southeast. So the retirees are bemoaning their lack of pay. A lot of them have not gotten their benefits. they are saying as much as even the monthly stipend they're supposed to get, some of them are not, the ones they even get, they pay them 2,000 naira, and even at that, it's not consistent. Sometimes it's less than 2,000 naira. So they are asking the government in some of the states, I wanted to mention the name of the state, Abia, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states, that the governor and the government should come and listen to their plea, because a lot of them are dying because of deprivation. Yeah. Sometimes they can't access medical care. Yeah, so they should look at. They should look at.
Okay, Vanguard, very quickly. 36 states FCT violate Pension Reform Act. Robbers invade hospital, cart away phones, which stretches others in Ogun. Suspension: Turkish airline pledges to use right aircraft. HIV/AIDS cases decline in Lagos, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, in US. It says US. I'm alive, I'm bubbling, IBB declares. Lagos State government reopens bid for 4th mainland bridge. Lecturer, 10 others kidnapped by Boko Haram beg for freedom. And border closure not breaching any free trade agreement, says federal government.
Yeah, so Boko Haram, recently a college lecturer was abducted, and a video of him asking for help, has been released. And in the video, he also mentioned that Leo Sharibu is very much alive. She has not been killed. Wow. And that the government isn't doing enough for her, and that's why she hasn't been rescued. He called out to Christian Association of Nigeria as well to help them. He specifically mentioned that there are many Christians that were being abducted by these insurgents, and asking that the government should do all that they can to save them. He also mentioned that the humanitarian workers that were abducted have been killed as well. Very sad.
The robbers are alive? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the robbers had the mind to invade a hospital, about 6 of them, and they put the patients under so much stress by taking their phones, asking for their material possessions. But thankfully, the Abeokuta State Police Command apprehended them just after 6 days, because they got a distress and then they chased them into the bush. They were able to, they are arrested. We're happy for that. But I just want to say that it's very painful that you are sick in a hospital where you're supposed to be receiving treatment, and then robbers come there and rob you again. What is happening?
The hospitals also need security. This is not the first time. I escaped it slightly before in the hospital, so this is not...
the border closure, you want a major headline?
The major headline, the pensions, they're not conforming with the Pension Reforms Act, but it's in details. We'll take the details later.
The issue concerning the border closure, who has that story? Nobody? Okay, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. Constituency Project ICPC uncovers lawmakers embezzle funds. Let's find a story we've not taken. Oluwo divorces Jamaican wife. Killing of 8 workers in Borno, clear desecration of Islam. I feel happy each time I drive around seeing my legacy, said Ajimobi. Right. Why I won't allow Obaseki create new political structures, says Oshomole. Kano has highest number of out-of-school children, says Ganduje. I read this story, why Obaseki and Oshomole. According to Oshomole, the chairman of APC, he's saying that there are political structures on ground. And what Obaseki is doing similarly to what they accused somebody of doing, trying to go against the political structures, accusing those there that practically got him into power, saying that they were corrupt or they were actually the problems of the state because of the structures they have in place. Obaseki is saying no, that he should focus on the good governance, what he's doing, the laudable achievements of his administration, and that's what's going to guarantee a re-election, because Oshamale kept saying that these are the people that are going to guarantee the votes that you're going to get from the election. So if you go against that structure, you're likely to lose at the elections. And he's saying, I don't need that to win. What I need is the work to speak for me. So there are 2 sides of the divide.
Because
this is they work hand in hand.
For both of them. Because the PDP candidate against him has come to the APC. And this person is more influential. What he rode on, he's destroyed already. So I'm hoping that...
Okay, let's move on. We'll see. I mean, I can't. Let's not comment on that. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we have quite a few topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. It's a festive season, and lots of crimes are being committed at this period. Criminals taking advantage of shoppers in markets, in traffic, and all different places. Joining us on the show is the PRO Force Criminal Investigation Division, Alagbon, Ikoyi in Lagos State, DSP Cordelia Nwawe. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
You can call us on 0708066814. You can also tweet us at TVC, and please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Permit me, before we go into how to secure Lagos State or how to secure ourselves within the state, we'd like to know a bit more about you. Because when we see people like you in the police, we wonder, how in the world did you get to this point? So you went to school, I think University of, in Abuja, right? No.
I'll tell you.
Law school.
Okay.
You're into law school in Abuja, that one I know. Yes. So you're a lawyer. So what is a lawyer doing working for the force?
Very funny question.
Yeah.
I'm a Deputy Superintendent of Police, and then I read Law University of Benin, called to the bar. It means that I left. I had to go again to study. I did an MBA Human Resources, UK University of Wales, and I came back. 2012, I enlisted as a cadet officer back into Nigerian Police and Assistant Superintendent of Police. I'm sure you're aware that for you to be a cadet officer in this country, you have to go to the university, you have to graduate, and then you join the force. I couldn't have done anything better.
Wow.
A second opportunity. If I had any other opportunity, come back alive, there's anything like that, I'll still be a cop.
No,
Yes.
no. This one I have
We
to
need to
jump on this one.
celebrate you.
Because when number one, you're a woman, number two, there's this perception around town that, police work and lawyer work, they don't merge. How exactly did you arrive at the conclusion, this is what I have to do, this is what I will do, this is where I feel fulfilled, this is what I feel fulfilled doing, number one. And how did your people at home take it?
Very rightly. I've always been a zealous person to go for the best of things. And as far as I'm concerned, this is my team. This is what I've always wanted to do. I actually used to work with V-Mobile before I went back abroad to go to school. A lot of people do not understand what it means to be a cop. They do not understand, especially back from the South. We do not understand. We're very stereotypic about who a police officer is. You can't pitch it together and say from there, you're just like, how can anyone be a police officer? I tell you something, if you're a cop, but you're not one, you better advise your kids to actually find their way to come up and be police officers.
Okay, let me let you go. Go ahead, please.
I am so impressed that you went to school in the UK and decided to come back and serve your motherland, your fatherland, whatever land. We have young people who aspire to be so much, but then the conditions here are not really, it's not palatable, it's not encouraging to them. So they want that greener pasture out there. But you decided to, what informed your decision?
Like I said, I've always been a very strong opinion person, very strong character. That's who I am. I don't believe that living abroad is the best of things. I'm not stopping people who want to go abroad. Okay. But I'll tell you something. I think that you, myself, everyone, we should begin to educate people to say to them, back here, this is it. Especially with the job that I do.
DSP, wait. Let's not speak English here. We know, we see police. We see your people on the road every day. We see, I'm not proud. I'm not proud of your
You're just
work.
being stereotypical.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, listen, we are talking to Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian.
I'm encouraging Nigerians to please.
We've had this before. I want to tell you what we see.
Tell me what you see.
Your colleagues on the streets don't look like you, number one.
Oh, yeah.
They don't speak like you. They don't sound like you. They don't even act like you, number one. So they are the ones we interface with. Yeah. If I was seeing you on the road every day, maybe I'll feel like, okay, yes, maybe I'm interested. So the truth is, we don't see this on the road. So tell us, how do we connect that? How do I see a cop or a police as somebody I can aspire to be, when who I see on the road are people who are willing to flag me down because I am wearing dreadlocks?
It stops me.
I used to be on the road, and I'm still on the road. Blue and black, green and green, yellow or the orange color that you see for the police officer. I am a general duty officer. I can be a DTO, I can be anybody back on the road. I think that once you drop your guards and stop being quite very stereotypic about the Nigerian police, stop being stereotypic, you'll find that you have brilliant, massive
I've actually met most
responsibility
some of the most brilliant of them.
They're there, you just haven't looked properly.
Yes, and that is it. Look, we have to look properly. It's like we need to get a microscope. There are few of you that I see.
Not few.
There are a few that I have seen.
Thank you.
Yes, that I see. And sometimes I feel like they use you as the front people of the police,
PRO.
to like whitewash.
Sweetheart, I do not agree.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Let me explain why what you're in it. So let me explain to you from someone on the outside who interfaces. I know you speak to your colleagues, you may know them personally, know their backstory, but we know them as the first of all come to us as what they're supposed to do, their responsibilities to us and to the state. And the way that they carry out their responsibilities sometimes is not right. I understand that not all of them are the same, but not many of them are like you. Not many of them seem to be educated, in fact.
Yeah.
No.
Not many of them seem to be educated.
That's what I said, being stereotypic. A lot, massively. That's the perception that I'm saying. You need to cut away from it, and then come down. I tell you something. That's how you feel, because that's the projection, what you see outside. But I'm saying to you, Nigerian police, a reflection of the society.
Okay,
So I take responsibility. There are a lot of brilliant, massive, brilliant police officers. You just haven't taken out your time.
All right, we'll take it from you. Let's move on, because I want us to focus on exactly why you're here. The issue of security during this Christmas period. What would you advise? I mean, recently in the last few weeks, we've been hearing stories of kidnapping. People are scared. My kids are supposed to go to church on Sunday, and I wanted them to take public transport, but I had to find a way to carry them because I couldn't trust. So what kind of reassurance do you give Nigerians today, especially during this festive season?
The same things we've always said. The operational documents for the Nigerian police has been done. It will go straight back from all states back into Abuja, and then it will come straight back in straight file back again from Abuja back into states to say that I can assure you that the red alert is on. It's not the amber one. It's up and running. And we're saying that you're going to find security men up on the road everywhere, restaurants, you're going to find them in hotels, you're going to find them all play spots, churches, mosques, you're going to find them everywhere. But again, security is everyone's business. Your business, my business. And we'll expect that you yourself in your home, you raise the red alert. Stop. Let's begin from... People are going to be moving funds this particular time. You need to be careful who you're giving out information to. Whether a family member or anybody, you just can't be too sure who you're talking to. So you need to be very careful, much more, and educate your family and say to them. And then you looked at what happened recently back at Ikoyi, about the death of Meshach and the rest of it. I'm saying that people need to become much more alert. No matter who the person is. You shut your doors, it's night, no matter who comes to knock and say, I need to see you, say to them, no, I'm not coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a problem with a lot of policemen on the road who, when they stop you, instead of, searching like they're supposed to do or asking questions like they're supposed to do, they are asking for money. They are extorting you. And so I've seen a lot of drivers try to run away from certain police people and hit somebody else because they're just dodging that beggy. That's what I would like to call it. So what are you doing to sensitize your men that this is not the time to be on the road? Or how far now? Give me something. They are supposed to be there to actually protect, because sometimes most of these robbers go, pass by them and they don't take note, and then you hear that something has happened. The same people that passed because you were not checking. What are you doing to sensitize them to do the proper thing they're supposed to be doing on the streets?
I'm sure that every police officer, myself inclusive, we understand the document that has been said to us. The Riot Act has been read to say to us, you must be professional, must be alert, silence, speed, service delivery. You must be there, SLA. You got to do your job. So I'm encouraging you. I'm saying to you that if you find a policeman who's not doing what he or she's meant to be doing back on the road, what are you supposed to do? We have emergency numbers that are running. They're up and running. I can give out some today if you'd allow me. And then, of course, people can call those telephone numbers back in each state. I'm sure that if you're talking to PROs from states, they'll be able to tell you that, but I'm talking from my strength, my purview as a First Criminal Investigation Department back here at Alagbon. We're saying that very unacceptable. The Inspector General of Police has said to every Commissioner of Police, all of us, area commanders, what is right is right, what is wrong is wrong.
Okay, let me take this call from Moe, then I'll come to you. Shegun, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Shegun, thanks for calling.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Very well. And the rest of you there. How are you this morning?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. First and foremost, Madam Nwawe, if I'm correct about your name.
Yes, thank you.
First and foremost, I'm sorry if I have to say this, you don't look like a police officer. First and foremost, all your fingernails. Can you carry a gun with that finger?
Oga.
Fingernails. Oh, guys, the fingernails you're seeing.
I don't understand.
Oh, his nose is talking about.
But I think he's just trying to say that you don't look like the average policeman. Go ahead, Nima.
You give so much confidence by the way you even carry yourself as an officer. I would walk up to you in distress faster than an average policeman, but that's besides the point. This is the season, and I would like you to advise that what should people be looking at. We've had instances where people disguise as police officers. What would you advise people do in such circumstances? How do you react? What is your first thing when a police officer supposedly is asking for your car papers, for instance, in a way that you're suspicious of? What should you do? How do you even ascertain that this is not a real police officer? What exactly should you do?
You stay calm. Every policeman that you find, especially from the inspectorate rank and file cadre, we have numbers. Numbers. Look at our shirts. My name is there. I'm an officer, that's why I'm not wearing an ID number on my chest. But every inspectorate rank and file cadre has name and then a number. The first number is there for you to ascertain. And better still, the call cards that we carry, that's our badges, are there. Just stay calm, inner light. Every time that the policeman is talking to you, can I see you? You say to them, I'd like to have an ID.
Okay.
For every checkpoint that you find a policeman who's there, you're not going to find one policeman at a location. I'm saying no. It's a no-no. It means that person is at his or her own risk. It's an aberration. Okay. You don't have to be there. Once you see a police officer, you'll know it's a police officer because they're actually in teams.
Okay.
Maybe about 3-4 people back on checkpoints. You'll see them.
So you turn on your yellow lights and then ask for an ID?
Yes, you can. The ID is there. It's on my shirt. My name is Cordelia Nwawe. That's how it's there. Danielle, look at my name. And then insist. You're not going to have policemen, we've been told, covering, of course, their identity. Maybe wearing cop cards on top of their shirts is unacceptable on the black and black that we wear. Or better still, you see mobile police officers. If you become professional with people who are back on the road to do the job that we do, they'll become quite very professional with you. So I'll expect that yourself, myself, everybody inclusive, will look at the policeman and pat them on the back and say, well done on the job.
Yeah. All right.
Well done.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So I understand, especially during the festive season, there seems to be like almost an increase in crime. It just comes across that way. And I know that also the conversation is always that maybe we do not have enough police on ground, or we do not have enough in the force in itself. How are you able to meet, given your challenges, just meet the needs of regular Nigerians during this festive period?
We're not taking Lagos State especially for granted. Every other state will be protected. The commissioners of police are aware. And like you just talked about, our not having manpower. In Lagos State, there's massive manpower back in Lagos State, so you will be kept safe. That's all I can say to you. I'll expect that you call on the PRO for Lagos State, so he or she will handle that particular question. Okay. But I know that from the first CID, the operational order, like I said, has been done, and everybody back in Lagos will be kept safe. I don't have a holiday this Christmas season. You know that the policemen were not allowed on holidays, Xmas period. Every holiday, actually, it doesn't matter. So long as the holiday, we need to be up and running. Nooks and crannies of everywhere. I say to you, the Commissioner of Police, who is Commissioner of Police Odumosu, he's in charge.
Yes.
And I can say to you that Lagos will be kept safe.
So let's take some tweets. Asogwa Kanayo Kenneth says, the truth is that a lot of people want to impress their neighbors and families during the Christmas season, so they go extra mile to steal and defraud others. Secondly, there's a high patronage of Christmas paraphernalia, so people carry money and get exposed to crime. What do you have to say to this?
You just said it. Or the person who actually wrote to you who tweeted has actually said it. I'm very particular about phones. Can we please have a cashless this Christmas season? And then don't spend too much. You don't need it. It's Christmas. Yes, we understand. Your neighbors, everybody's watching. Take out time to get to know who actually has moved into your neighborhood, and be particular within the estates that you live. Anywhere that you find yourself, be particular. Go home safe and sound. Go home early. and then drink less this particular festive season.
Fantastic. Let me take this call from Kano. Ajayi, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Compliment of the season to you guys.
Compliments, sir.
Compliments.
Nice work.
We thank
Work
God.
is fine.
Oga Police, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, madam. Honestly, you really made my day somehow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thumbs up, please. I love the way you really talking good about the Nigerian police. How we wish all your other colleagues everywhere can just act and behave the way you are and look the way you are. You have been very, very good and better. So honestly, I really want to commend you personally, and you still people have more to do. Please, this issue of emphasizing more on your boys, please, get them trained more better. I think we'll have a better Nigerian police force.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Simon Lava says, sometimes people give room for police to extort or misbehave because we ourselves don't maintain law and order. I saw a man who beat traffic lights, and when the police collected money from him, he cried foul. Why break the law in the first place? So should the police even collect money in such a case?
No, we should not. We're not allowed. All forms of corruption not allowed on the police. And I'm saying that for Nigerians, can you please follow through? Our emergency numbers to be up and running. And I insist, a policeman has done something wrong. Don't make it like it's a norm, general. So you make others who are actually up and doing with the jobs that we do feel less. The commissioners of police in every state, especially back in Lagos. There's an assistant inspector general of police back in Zone 2. There's an assistant inspector general of police back at the 4th CID. Can you please follow through? What I mean by follow through is to work up to the PROs of everywhere that I've just mentioned and report to them. Okay. Come to us, talk to us. But if you stay somewhere, you cry foul, and you're not talking to us, we're not going to know what's happening.
So we'll list out the numbers.
Yes,
I'll tell you the numbers that you need to call.
But I have two things that worry me. The first one is the fact that I see some policemen in the mornings when they stop me driving and they are smelling, they are drunk very early in the morning. I leave my house 5 a.m. and I get into some stops, and then the person speaking to me is already smelling, oozing that early. Secondly, when they want to stop you, they raise their gun like you are a criminal. And I'm wondering, Oga, you didn't have to raise that gun at me. So is there any way you guys are sensitizing them on how to handle those guns? Yes,
to stop with a gun.
Thank you so much. As far as I'm concerned, are you aware that some parents give their bad children to the police? The training program is up and running all the time. As I speak with you, training is up and running. And so if the police says, the police authority says, don't do this, and then you do it, it's up to you, the Nigerian, to say to us, this has happened. That's why I'm saying we all have identities. There's no police officer who's less than 18 years of age.
Yeah, I don't.
We're wearing IDs. Right. Talk to us. Report the situation. Keep calling the phone numbers. Make it random.
Okay.
Or better still, put it on WhatsApp. Put it on Facebook.
Make noise about it.
Make noise. Talk about it so that people get to understand. The police didn't tell police officers to go get drunk. Okay. It's departmental discipline. You can actually be dismissed for being drunk on duty.
Right.
If you wear the police uniform, you must be professional.
Right. Okay, let me take this call from the UK. Very good. It's been holding for a while. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, good morning. My name is Shola. I'm calling from the UK.
Yes, go ahead. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Well, I want to commend the policewoman. I almost switched off the TV, to be honest.
Whoa.
I almost changed the channel when I heard her talk initially, because it seemed as if she was in cuckoo land, not really knowing the realities of what Nigerians face on a daily basis with the Nigerian so-called police. I would please like to employ and beg her. She seems to be a good person, but the Nigerian police needs to be reformed. That is the honest truth. As her position in the police force, I don't expect her to come on national TV and condemn the police. So maybe she's doing the right thing by telling us what we'd want to hear, but the realities are there, staring in the faces of us regular Nigerians. The police system in Nigeria is really nothing to write home about. And that is the honest truth. Let's face it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a Nigerian right
What's your
there.
sincere response to that?
I agree with you, my sincere response. We take responsibility. The Nigerian police is work in progress, no regrets. But I'm saying that herself, who's just spoken, please, respectfully, can she please come home? Come home and be part of the system and make it work? I just said it here. Some parents have actually structured their children to be bad. And then when you join the police, you expect that you should change. Nigerian police, as far as I'm concerned, professionally, was doing a massive training job on police officers. But if you have a man who's 30, he's refused to change. Departmental discipline. That's if you report. I take responsibility. The organization takes responsibility. And we're saying that Nigerians should begin immediately, humongously, to speak up and say to us, this is happening. Work in progress. We'll go back, like you've stated, I'll go back and take what has just been said to me back to the authority.
We have to wrap
So
up,
that
but I won't let you leave without giving us those numbers, because I know lots of Nigerians, especially in this festive season, you're telling us that if you observe that a police officer is not doing what he's supposed to be doing,
call the number.
You can call the number to report.
And get the police officer's name, rank and file, inspectorate, rank and file. You call them inspectors.
How
and
do
then
I
rank
know
and
that
file.
something's been done? How do I verify that this police has been punished?
Call me,
Okay.
Lagos, or you call the Lagos PRO, or you call the Lagos Zone 2 PRO. Call the telephone numbers. That's what I said. Follow through. Be consistent.
Okay.
Follow through.
We have a number, please.
080-3390-9391. 080-3390-9391. My telephone number is 081-6198-0944.
Now, this is just for Lagos.
Lagos.
So we need other numbers.
This is for the
other
first
states.
CID. Once you call me, you'll be able to link every other person and say this is happening. And you know social media is up and agog.
Yeah.
The policeman goes wrong, you put it up there. And so he or she takes responsibility for her action.
So if I live in Borno, for example, I live in Ikoyi, if I call your number, you can link me up with
Of
the
course, yes.
FCID
The
officer.
Nigerian police is one everywhere.
Fantastic.
But again, the TVC is in Bruno. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
TVC has a station back in Bruno, so they have the PRO's number. It doesn't mean that I won't still help. If you call me, I assure you that I'll be up and running and give you the information.
So final
that you need.
assurance this season, please.
Yes.
We have to go on a break. Final assurance to our viewers.
You'll be safe. You'll be kept safe back in Lagos. We'll take responsibility.
All right.
And demystify the Commissioner's office, AIG's office, Deputy Inspector General of Police, because they're human beings, fathers, and they're willing to talk to anyone when you look for them. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you feel reassured. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll talk about this issue of electricity. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Last week, National Union of Electricity Employees, NUEE, sent the whole country into panic as they embarked on a strike. However, 48 hours after, Nigerians heaved a sigh of relief when the mass action was called off. Join us on the show is the General Secretary, National Union of Electricity Workers, Mr. Joe Ajero. Welcome to the show, sir. Mr. Joe Ajero, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Good to have you on the show. It's important we bring you over because it's Christmas season and we don't need any additional blackout. So we want to be sure, first of all, what your demands were. Have the demands been met, and on what basis was it called off? And do we expect any other industrial action afterwards?
Well, thank you very much. Everybody in this country knew the history of privatization of the power sector in Nigeria. And thereafter, the workers were supposed to have been paid their entitlements. If you check that record, after payment, over 2,000 people were not paid anything at all. And the other 48 to 50,000 people were short paid by about 16 months, in addition to others. So since that time, there have been a series of meetings. We've been calling the BPE. In few occasions, we had to picket the BPE, lock their gates. For 2 occasions, the CP Abuja intervened and promised that things will be normal. Nothing happened. 2 years after, We did that in several organizations. You know, we did that in a Ikoyi power station. The Labour Ministry intervened, and we met. Some agreements were reached. After 2-3 months, Labour Ministry summoned us again. The Ikoyi power plant said they were not going to come again. So we were at the ministry 3 times. They didn't come. And the Labour Ministry was powerless, you know, to do anything drawing from that. And we continue to write series of letters. Most of these people are dying on a daily basis, you know. No kobo, no work. And the agreement then was that until you pay people, they should remain in employment. They still sacked them. They didn't pay them their entitlement, and we continued. And for some others working in the new companies, you know, they deduct their pensions, they don't remit. You know, some others work without the condition of service. 6 years after a big power plant and others, no condition of service. Last 2 months, they call some of them that they have to retire without coming up with a circular, threatening them. Some of them retired, resigned, you know, immediately. So that has been the condition we are working on. And we got tired of letters. About 4 correspondences to the Labour Ministry were not responded to. So we met and agreed on an ultimatum. You know, ordinarily the provision of the law is 14 days ultimatum. We decided to give them 21 days. And after that meeting, we wrote them on the 7th of November. From that 7th of November, on the 10th of November, we published it, a full-page advertorial in Vanguard newspapers on our demands. From that time to the day we started an action, that didn't last up to 24 hours. You know, there was no response. We copied the Ministry of Labour, you know, we copied the DG SSS, we copied the IG, we copied the Ministry of Power, and every other agency that has to do with the power sector. And nobody, you know, was able to say what is happening. And the provision of the law is that even if the Labour Ministry gets to know about it on the pages of newspaper, it is their duty to apprehend it. The word, the operational word is apprehend, so that it doesn't happen. And nothing happened. So we commenced an action, you know, it was then they responded, and as patriotic Nigerians, we called it before 24 hours.
You're actually patriotic. Let me give it to you people, because we've seen 2 groups, what would I call them, workers associations that are very strong, Pengasen and the other one. And people take them seriously. But once this blackout happened, Nigerians knew how important the electricity workers were.
We don't go on strike.
But then we don't see government take you that seriously, because you know, when the Pengasen threatened to park on our bridges, nobody will say anything. They will attend to them. But when it's your turn, so I want to call you guys patriotic. Well done. Now, the problem for me is, how have you people structured your association, your union, exactly, such that, you know, your demands would have been well articulated and well taken care of? Because we know, Pengasen again as an example, have demands that their pensioners and everybody else is covered, well protected. What exactly happened? Is it a break in the different arms from NEPA to PHCN that didn't allow you people build a well-structured union so that your demands...
We have a very structured, you know, very coordinated. But when you have disjointed employers, it becomes a problem. You know, there used to be Niger Dam Authority of Nigeria and the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria that merged to become NEPA. You know, that was what happened. Now, from NEPA, you know, they became PHCN. Power holding. Yeah, power holding. From that time, they split into about 18 companies. Now, in these 18 companies, as we talk now, you know, we've been able to unionize, to write condition of service for about 11 of them. The other 7 or thereabout have said no. So in such situation, you don't have condition, you know, of service.
Can I ask you a question? I'll come to you, Miriam. Because I remember when this thing happened, when they were moving on to the discos, and there was this reaction from the unions. We thought, I mean, the person that had, like, the discos were going to absorb many of you. Yes. Did that happen? Or were you all just disengaged officially?
Well, they disengaged most of us. Most of us, massively. And then they are employing people, some of them relations, whatever. And now they are bringing it to the people who are there already. To when the people there already, those ones who train them, and the people they train will supervise them. Now they are bringing some class of people that collect almost 400% salary than the people that are doing the job. Yeah, evidence about. So that's what we are seeing. So the system is not coordinated as of now. And we have been trying to coordinate it. On their own part, they don't have employers association, especially the GENCOs, the generating companies. So what they do is to live by muzzle. If you go to a Igwe power station, maybe they place some soldiers there, place police dogs, nobody comes in. So you don't operate in that manner. For the past 6 years, we have done this on our own. Some have taken us to court, and when we came out, we started talking. Like in the case of Port Harcourt, series of court cases, and the court still insisted that you go and pay, you go and negotiate, we'll come back. So that is what they are adopting. I think people who must participate in the Nigerian power sector must be able to equally understand the sensitivity of that sector.
All right. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Yes.
Yes.
Mary, I have a question.
So I really sympathize with what you're going through. To put in the work and not be paid is really it's very unfair. But the thing is that you also work in a sector that just seems not to be working for Nigerians. Nigerians will look at you today and wonder, what are they complaining about? After all, it's not like we're enjoying any light. And we hear all the time the billions that is being, put into this sector to fund it. And we're wondering, maybe now, as an insider, you can give us a little, explanation with what's happening with the power sector in this country.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't think whether you guys have the time. This has been a long battle. If you walk throughout the era of privatization, you may be seeing some of us up and down trying to explain to Nigerians, what was about happening. The money, the billions being sunk in, is not given to the workers in the first instance. It's the politicians and the people, the appointees. And then the power sector as of today is not meant to work. Let none of you have any hope. If anybody is coming out to tell you that it's going to work, it's not going to work. 6 years that I'm talking of, that they have not paid this, they have not paid that. They have not built a single power plant, the so-called private sector. Now, power is not something you say, let there be light.
And there was light.
And they have light. An average power station takes you about 3 to 4 years to construct. So if you are not building one today, there's none that will come in the next 4 years. Wow. No plan so far. There is no conscious master plan, to improve the system. And if you take it from the perspective of demand and supply, the demand for electricity is increasing on a daily basis, but supply is constant, at 4,000 megawatts. Remember, Lily Moke in 2002 achieved 4,000 megawatts. Between 2002 to date, we are still on 4,000 megawatts, and the demand is increasing. So if you were hither to getting 10 hours, as the demand is increasing, because there are new houses, new gadgets coming in, it is decreasing on a daily basis, and nobody's making any effort.
But GENCOs have said they are actually generating. But it's the discoms that are not being able to distribute, that they're actually generating and they're getting a lot of petrol.
See, the GENCOs you are talking of are even the major problem. See, they have not even expanded the limit they have. What they tell you they are generating is what was handed over to them from PHCN. That's what they are generating. None of them has constructed any new plant. And what they are generating is not sustainable. Of course. They will give you maybe 200 megawatts this week. Next week, one of their machines is down.
Bad.
Now, is that how to run a power station in the country? So with all this, and Nigerian government say it doesn't concern them, and the owners of these companies are not known to be experts anywhere. Some of them are traders, and you hand over the power sector to them because they are friends of government.
Let me take this call, and I'll come to you, Rejulu. Morning, are you there?
Good morning. Good
Thanks
morning.
for calling.
Thank you, Jesus. Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I want to congratulate you guys. Compliments.
Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season, ma. Sorry, I quickly want to ask. I don't know why they don't show the review on CVC at 11 again.
What? The review? I didn't get that.
The repeat of the show.
The review on CVC at 11.
Okay, I'm not aware. I'll find out. Okay. I'll find out.
All right.
Right, all right. Thank you very much. Yes, Virginia.
So when you were talking, you mentioned that at the moment you have about 18 companies scattered all over. Now, is there any plan you have to, you know, make sure that the companies have one voice so that you can be heard?
That's the discos, right?
Yes, the discos. Now, secondly, what if after these 21 days, nothing is done? What happens?
Well, you see, the 21 days we have passed it. You know, after 21 days, nothing happened. And we started an action.
Yes.
And they say, wait, let us talk.
Okay.
We have talked. We have reached agreement. And luckily enough, the National Assembly intervened. Sorry, the House of Rep intervened and volunteered to be witness to the agreement. So we have that belief that maybe in the next 2-3 months, you know, the agreements will be implemented. But if they are not implemented,
what happens?
We'll go back to our action.
Whoa.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
So you just broke my heart with the example of no plants. No plants being built.
None.
No new plans, nothing changed with the disco gencos.
Apart from what government did before now.
For nothing.
Yes. So the problem we have
for
now,
more than 30 years, we've been hearing about the Mambila power project. What exactly is the problem? What stage is it at? Is it possible that, you know, what exactly is it?
Yes, because we heard that once Mambila works.
Let's hear it from an employee point of view.
An insider.
Well, it's not just Mambila. Mambila can give us at completion exactly the power they are having, about 3,000 something megawatts. Zungeru can give us up to 1,900 megawatts. And these are hydro. You know, hydro appears cheaper because we have the facilities. But the feasibility studies was done by IBB on Mambila. And up to now, no work has been taking place there.
Say IBB.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll try to, because I have one question that I've been asking, I've tried to ask many years. Stay with us, we'll be right back. I'll ask you when I come back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, I've always wondered, when they take light and they bring light, one street has light and that street doesn't have light. What exactly, as a worker, tell us, what is it that somebody just switches something off and switches it on and say, okay, this street you are going on today, you're not having light. What happens? Is it somebody that's doing that?
Well, I think there are a lot of factors. You know, in the first instance, what they have been doing is rationing.
Okay.
You know, that's why they have been...
So who determines who rations or what rations?
It's from maybe the substation there. You know, maybe if this place is giving 20 megawatts, and then they have to give Ijibo small, give mainland before small, give island before, the area is covered. The second factor is probably problem of the transformer. If your transformer is faulty, by the time they give supply, you know, it will not get to your area. Or there is a fault they have not corrected anywhere. Okay. You know, that fault may, you know, deny you supply. Right. However, even the one we are shouting that the 4,000 megawatts is not enough. Yeah. The discos, majority of them, if you ask them, take maybe 300 megawatts, what is available, they will say, no, we'll take 100 megawatts. Yeah. You know, that is what we call a load, rejecting load. Because there's a market structure that if you take 400 megawatts, maybe you pay 800 million. Now, if you take 100 megawatts, you pay 200 million. Now, what the meaning of that, let me underscore it, is that since they are collecting their revenue based on estimation, even when they buy for 200 million, they will still make maximum of maybe 1 billion. Yes. So there is no need for them to take 400 megawatts and there will be power. So this economic aspect has, you know, consumed or subsumed the social aspect of electricity.
Okay, sir, you know, this question she asked, every child has that question, and I was actually expecting a lighter mood answer, because we feel that when they switch off, somebody will just hate this street and say, we are not giving you lights for that weekend. They switch it off. Or you did not smile well with the NEPA people when they came to collect bill. They will decide to punish you. So we saw that. But
even if the MD is in that street,
it doesn't matter.
They can't give him a loan.
Okay. So, but on a more serious note, I wanted to ask, what do you think, or what do you expect from the government? You know, because when we hear so and so amount has been given to the power sector, and we hear it in billions. We expect to see more, but now you're analyzing to us that most of those monies don't even go to what it is supposed to be used for. So how do you want the government to, you know, weigh in on the fact that we have disbursed this amount of money to be used for this, and we haven't seen it? What actions do you expect the government to do?
Well, the issue is not, if I tell government, they will not do it because they have not called for our attention. Ordinarily, before or after privatization, there should have been a stakeholders meeting. And let me tell you, throughout Fashion last time, he was busy every month holding stakeholders meeting. But the employees are not there.
As governor?
Yes, as governor. Every month, town hall, stakeholders. And there's nobody that was telling them what was happening. So they spent millions. The money they spent on stakeholders meeting, call this MD, call this MD. And nobody there could tell him the truth. You know, so he spent that time, you know, and left. So if there must be a platform or even a national debate in this country where all players will come up and then we'll look at a conscious master plan. Let me tell you this. Privatization policy was a policy of the PDP. Now it appears that APC had adopted it. So it's like they are continuing. But if APC has their own policy, let them come up with it. So that we know that with this, we can improve the power sector.
So we have some tweets. Mobola says, what you see happening in the power sector is an aftermath of privatizations shrouded in shenanigans. When you privatize to reward your cronies, the devil we witness today is inevitable. The only solution is for the federal government to revisit privatization and do the right thing, or right the wrong. Andrew says, if the Nigerian government allowed the workers of the former parastatal and NEPA to have owned the discos, they would have done a fantastic job. Why? Since the workers own the company, they would have made sure electricity distribution works well.
Someone is asking here that the power plant in Aba, why is it not yet operational? Do you know?
Well, it has not been completed. Contracts were awarded to some people, powerful individuals. You know, they have not. And another one at Egbeman, so many other power plants. But most of these power plants are political power plants because the ministers cite it in their states. Agagu went to cite a gas power plant, you know, in Papalanto, Omotosho, Geregu, all those areas. Whereas you must construct a line from Baeza or Rivers where you have gas supply until it gets to that place. You know, it doesn't work. Some of them are just elephant. That of Geregu was they use plant generator to commission it.
For what you're saying, Oga, the bailouts that happened under Jonathan to the discos then, there were bailouts that happened so that they could continue operations because they were complaining of funds, and it was allowed and agreed that they should be giving bailouts.
Even this government has given a kind of grant of over 1 trillion. Now you sold NEPA at about 400 billion, and then you give the people that bought it about 1 trillion. And they're still planning. So how do you sell your house 20,000 and give the buyer 100,000 to paint it? So these are issues that we need proper explanation.
Okay, we have to run. But there's this issue, there's this albatross I would say on Nigerian, something called recurrent expenditure. And every Nigerian is always against the fact that there's so much money. We keep complaining that our budget, 70% goes to recurrence. And this part of the recurrence, the fact that they're owing 48,000 old workers. So is there some kind of a middle ground? Because Nigerians are saying, stop continually paying salaries because we need this money for capital projects. So are there like plans to have it staggered such that it doesn't really affect our budget? Or is there a budget allocation for these kind of payments, you know?
Provisions were made after privatization. But when they were not talking about, is it this single digit or whatever, they carried all the money back. They took it away from the BPE that were supposed to, you know, pay the entitlement of the workers. Every calculation was made and we signed an agreement. In the process of implementation, the money disappeared. So that's the situation. It's not like a new proposal from the federal government or to budget for it. No.
All right, unfortunately, we have to go. We just wish you the best. And we just hope that this Christmas will have lights. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
We need to mention that our Christmas decoration was done by Bless's Art and Golden Moments Events. That is all. I mean, she did an amazing job, didn't she? Thank you so much for this lovely decoration. And that's all we can take. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.